this video, I'm going to talk about a few types of retrieval. Again, retrieval is getting information out of long-term memory. You can have recall, recognition, and relearning. First of all, you have recall. Recall is when memory is demonstrated by retrieving information learned earlier, if you can recall facts. This is thinking of all possible correct answers and then choosing which one was actually stored in your memory. An example of a recall exam question would be a short answer essay or a fill in the blank with no word bank. You have to see if you can retrieve information that was learned earlier with little or no cues to help you. You just have to pull it out of your memory. An easier form of retrieval is recognition. Recognition is when memory is demonstrated by identifying items previously learned. So you do not have to pull them straight out, you just have to choose the correct items from a list. Can you identify this as something that should actually be stored in your memory? An example of an exam question that would be a recognition question would be a multiple choice test question. So out of the 4 options, can you choose which of these, can you recognize which of these is actually stored in your memory or should actually be stored in your memory? Or a true-false question would also be a recognition option. So recognition is easier than recall. Finally, you have relearning, which might not make sense as a retrieval option to begin with, but relearning is memory that is demonstrated by time saved when learning material a second time. So you thought you'd forgotten it and you're relearning it, but it doesn't take you as long to learn it the second time you do it. That is because it was not totally forgotten the first time. You did actually have it still stored in your long-term memory, even if you couldn't quite get to it. And so because it is easier to learn it the second time around, you know that it was still there somewhere, that it was still stuck in your long-term memory storage. And this also connects to one way to help you study. You do much better on tests if you break up your studying. That's something else discussed in your book, Ebbinghouse's idea of distributed practice, but it's a similar component to what's happening with relearning. If you learn it a little bit and then you go back and learn it a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more because you study for 15 minutes a day, in the end, it's a more efficient way to study because each time it takes you less time to retrieve it until it's automatically there and so easy to get to. So these are the 3 forms of retrieval that you should know.